I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole. Diggy, diggy hole. It's time to open our arms and embrace some other tabletop role playing game companies out there as we continue our way through No Wizards of the Coast February. Still at 2,000 subs. The goal is now 5,000 subs by 2030. And today we're looking at Crucible 7, who bring us the amazingly expanding Warhammer tabletop role-playing game universe in conjuration, connection, whatever the word is. Connection with Games Workshop and the Warhammer stuff that comes out from them. So let's see what's going on. Crucible 7 is the home of Warhammer, Warhammer Space, Warhammer, and some other games, including the 7D20 system that I don't know if that actually ever came out. But I think they've made a handful of stuff for 5e, but mostly I think we're interested in what's going on with this big boy. Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer Soulbound, Warhammer Imperium, Warhammer Wrath and Glory, Doctor Who. Does anybody care about a Doctor Who role-playing game anymore? It's like, oh, look, we're dedicated a whole book to Jodie's run. Doctor Who ended with Peter. I don't care what else says. So let's see. We'll go to the blog. That's usually where they keep the news and see what the blog has to say. And we're going to talk like this. Imperium Maledictum Inquisitor's Guide is coming out. It's got Inquisitor's GM Guide and Inquisitor's Player's Guide. So if you're interested in being an agent of the Imperium, be an Inquisitor, going out and doing all sorts of other, I guess, the equivalent of secret agent, spy, internal affairs type stuff, this would be it. So it's exploring the seedier side of the Warhammer universe, the Warhammer Space universe. So if you've ever wanted to do Warhammer CIS, I guess this would be it. They're looking for writers. So if you have a what's the word I'm looking for? An itch to scratch. You want to write yourself some grim darky McDark from the original grim dark mommies and daddies, the ones that started the whole thing, Warhammer. They are looking for writers. Blah, 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 blah. You need to know how to write. You need to know how to edit and brief your stuff and then present them with a deadline and stuff like that, and meet the deadline and accept feedback. And you should probably be familiar with the stuff they make for Warhammer, especially Wrath of Glory and Imperium Maledictum, but a general understanding of stuff like that. A writing sample of no more than 500 words, of course, spelled correctly, presented correctly, evocative, embracing the atmosphere of the grim darky McDark universe that is Crucible 7 Warhammer. So if that's something you think you want to do, blah, 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 I don't know how you submit it to them because there's no link. There is an email. You could try jobs@crucible7games.com with the header Warhammer Writers Call 2025 and include the story and your CV, your whatever you want to call it, resume, your portfolio of stuff you've done in the past. Obviously, I will not be applying for this because, one, I don't know anything about the Warhammer universe except for what other people tell me, and two, have you seen my writing? They take one look at it and go, did you have an orc write this? So let's see what's coming up. They've got some Kickstarters that are coming up, including whatever that is. So we have the Crafting and Alchemy, Hammer and Anvil, Mortal and Pestle. This is for some stuff for 5e that they are working on. If you're ever been interested in taking the rather vague crafting building rules in 5e, which I believe they polished up in the new books. I'm not sure. I have heard some hemming and hawing that at least that aspect they maybe improved upon. Of course, I also heard it gives you the ability to create infinite magic items for your characters at no cost whatsoever. So Perhaps this is a more realistic way to embrace the crafting, alchemy, pounding of metal, and brewing of potions aspect of gaming, if that's something that your players are interested in. Then we have their laundry role-playing game, including a brand new novel set in the laundry universe. What is the laundry universe? It's a MIB type, X-Files type game. You know, you're normal people who are fighting against the encroaching secret darkness because only you know about it and only you can do about anything about it. It's based upon a novel series and I believe a comic book. I know I recognize the name. I know it's one of those things that has been floating out there in the periphery of pop culture. I think it's from Europe, England, possibly. I don't know enough about it, but it's based upon the Laundry Files by Charles Strouse. Victorian. Hey, remember Victorian? Victorian was one of the very first steampunk role-playing games. Well, it has a brand new home in Crucible 7, and they've been kickstarting that, so that should be available for release pretty soon. And then we get into some weird stuff that I don't know. What is this? It's something that they're going to maybe be kickstarting in the future called Harrow Hill Point, and another something that they might be kickstarting in the future called In the Thrall of the Ever Hungering. So that's pretty much what's going on with them. Let's see if there's anything going on with the Doctor Who role-playing game, just for giggles. If I can get this to work. Nope, I can't. My computer's having issues, guys. So I'm trying to find a new one. If anybody's got any suggestions for a laptop under $1,000, I am looking for a new laptop. So there we go. That's everything that's going on over at Crucible 7. Notice that there's no mention of the 7D20 role-playing game. I guess they've given up on that? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I certainly haven't heard anything about it since it was first announced right after the OGL fiasco. Once again, I think it's safe to say that the only individual who truly won from the OGL fiasco of 2023 is our good friend Kelsey Dion, still trailblazing 2025. I know I've hooked my wagon to her star for now, and you can enjoy my take on Grim Darky McDark when the Gobstein role-playing extravaganza begins on the 22nd of January, which will also be the day of the next episode of my live play. That'll be interesting. Still not sure what's involved other than I send him things every day, but it'll be fun. If you're interested in me continuing to explore the worlds of other tabletop role-playing games that aren't Wizards of the Coast, let me know. If you're already bored of this experiment and want to get back to the normal stuff, let me know. Thank you to each and every one of you for sticking with me on this rainy, gloomy Wednesday. I will talk to you all later. Until then, drive careful and stuff.
Roll the dice and ride the wave. Quest and dragons, the news we crave. Under neon lights we take a stand. Knights and wizards across the land.